Welcome back to 17 News at Noon podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Noon.
Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us for 17 News at Noon. I'm Nicole Gitsky. We begin yet again with another deadly day in reported coronavirus deaths. Public Health announced 8 deaths. That brings our 3-day total to 32 lives lost. And Public Health has released new data regarding COVID-19 deaths. According to Public Health, no children have died from the novel virus. Most deaths have been from those 65 and older. Also, a majority of the deaths continue to be from underlying conditions. Hypertension and diabetes are by far the leading cause in those deaths. And also, Public Health has announced 521 new cases today. Nearly 24,000 are recovering at home with the virus. 264 people are suffering from more acute symptoms in the hospital. And also 60 people are in the ICU. And doctors say vaccines are especially important for Black Americans as this community is dying from COVID-19 at nearly triple the rate of white Americans. Next week, 17 News is hosting a town hall to talk with local doctors about why communities of color should consider taking the shot. That's next Thursday at 6 p.m. right here on KGET. And the Pentagon is making a push to help deliver COVID-19 vaccines. The Associated Press first broke the news this morning. Over 1,000 active duty troops will help deliver the vaccine, starting first in California. The White House says the troops will arrive within the next 10 days. The troop will help support the vaccination sites across the state. The 1,000 members are split into 5 teams, now 2 of them from the Army and 1 from each team. Now that's the Air Force, the Marine Corps, and the Navy. And Johnson & Johnson says it has applied to the FDA for an emergency use authorization for its coronavirus vaccine. The application comes nearly a week after the company released phase 3 data, which showed the single-dose vaccine was 72% effective at preventing moderate to severe disease in the U.S. Now, in a press release, the company called the submission a pivotal step towards reducing the burden of disease for people globally and putting an end to the pandemic. If authorized, it would become the country's 3rd vaccine. The company says it will begin distribution immediately following authorization and expects to supply the government 100 million doses in the first half of the year. And Kern Public Health decides who is eligible to receive the vaccine after getting directions from the state and determining the vaccine supply. Now, those eligible for the vaccine right now include anyone 65 years or older, all healthcare workers and first responders. And the next tier of people eligible for the vaccine will include teachers, childcare workers, those in emergency services, and people who work in the food and agriculture industry. It is not clear yet when the vaccines will be available to this group in Kern County, but the state has already given the okay. And a reminder, you can visit Kern Public Health's website for an interactive map of vaccine providers near you. Then call one of those sites to make an appointment. Just head to kernpublichealth.com. And another way to help health officials accurately track the virus's spread and slow the spread is getting tested. Kern Public Health has an online resource to help you find COVID-19 testing sites. On the Kern Public Health website, there's an interactive map in both English and Spanish of where you can find your nearest paid or free testing center. Plus, there's more information you need to know, like hours and addresses. Now in our 17 follow-up file, the search continues for 2 missing boys out of California City, with city officials confirming last night the reward for information on the boys has been up to $120,000. It's now been 46 days since 3-year-old Orson and 4-year-old Oren West are reported missing. The chief of police says his department has received around 2,500 tips, and they've followed up on every one of them. If you have any information, you can call the California City Police Department at 760-373-8606 or the Secret Witness Hotline at 322-4040. And February 18th will mark 1 year since firefighters Patrick Jones and Raymond Figueroa were killed while fighting a blaze at the Porterville Library. Now, because of the pandemic, a public memorial won't take place. Instead, the Porterville Fire Department said it will release a memorial video on the 1-year anniversary of the firefighters' death. The video will be made available on the Porterville Fire Department's Facebook page on February 18th at 4 p.m. The memorial video will include an honor guard ceremony and speeches from family members and other community leaders. Today is National Wear Red Day to raise awareness about heart disease and stroke in women. Now, heart disease is the leading cause of death in women, more than all cancers combined. 1 in 3 women are likely to encounter some form of heart disease. 80% of cardiac events could be prevented with education and lifestyle changes. Doctors say it's important to keep up with routine checkups and to exercise. And we want to see you in red. Go to our website, KGET.com, to upload a picture of yourself. Well, hungry? Teen Challenge is hosting its February foodie fair starting today. It's a curbside fundraiser due to the pandemic. They've got burgers, sandwiches, corn dogs, kettle corn, and more. It's open from noon to 8 p.m. each weekend for the rest of the month at the Teen Challenge building on East Roberts Lane in Oildale. Teen Challenge has been serving Kern County for more than 50 years. It's a faith-based free recovery program for those struggling with life-controlling addictions. All right, taking a look ahead, you can support local families affected by cancer by purchasing a box of Dewar's candy. Now, the Magic Foundation and KGET have teamed up once again for the annual Cupid's Challenge. You can buy boxes all month long online, or you can purchase in person next Friday. It's a drive-through event running from 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the Dewar's on I Street. A box of famous chews will cost $20. Now, the money raised goes to the foundation, which helps families and children dealing with cancer or other serious illnesses. And the Blessing Corner is helping those in need. They're holding a drive-through food giveaway next week. It's happening on Sunday, February 14th on Union Avenue in 1st Street from 2:30 to 4:40 p.m. Blessing Corner says they have canned and dry goods, cheese, chips, water, bread, veggies, household items, and toiletries. You are asked to wear a mask if you do attend. And Northwest Bakersfield is welcoming new businesses. A new Ulta store held their grand opening this morning. The new shop is located at the Northwest Promenade on Rosedale Highway. The store will open every day from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. except Sundays. Now, this is the company's second store in Bakersfield. They also have a location at the Marketplace on Ming Avenue. And right next door, the clothing store Old Navy is open. The store opens at 11 a.m. daily. Now, this is the second store location in town. The other is on Gosford Road. And don't forget, the burgers are flipping last week. The In-N-Out on Rosedale opened their doors. The new restaurant located on Rosedale Highway next to Lowe's will be open from 10:30 a.m. to 1 a.m. Sundays through Thursdays, while staying open until 1:30 a.m. on Fridays and Saturdays. This brings the total number of In-N-Outs in Kern to 4. And the new ChickfilA will be heading to the Promenade. Wednesday, the City Council unanimously approved the rezoning of the lot at the Westside Promenade. Now, the fast food chain will transform the previous Pier 1 retail store. No word yet on when they will break ground. And we're just days away from the Super Bowl, a time where millions of people gather around their TVs with families and friends. And as cases are on the decline, many people are tempted to defy CDC guidelines and gather for the big game anyway. Doctors say people are getting lulled into false sense of security, but it's important to stick with your immediate household this Super Bowl Sunday. And the CDC says there are ways you can watch the big game safely. The safest way to watch the Kansas City Chiefs take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is to do it with the people you live with or attend a virtual gathering. But if you attend or host a gathering with people you don't live with, outdoors is safer than indoors, and use a projector screen to broadcast the game. And if you are one of the 22,000 fans who will be attending the game in person, arrive at the stadium early and minimize the time you spend at the concession area. Regardless, if you celebrate with a small group outside or in person in Tampa, make sure you wear a mask at all times. And don't drink and drive. That's the message from the California Highway Patrol ahead of the big game. CHP says the Super Bowl is the most celebrated sporting event. Deputies will be on high alert for impaired drivers. Alcohol, marijuana, and prescription drugs all fall under the category of driving under the influence. Last Super Bowl Sunday, 4 people died of alcohol-related crashes and 120 people were injured. CHP says if you do drink, do not get behind the wheel. And if you see an impaired driver, call 911 immediately.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Noon.
The 17 News at Noon podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to KGET.com.